What's up guys, and welcome back to another tutorial. So in this video we are going to do the placket with a patch design. I already showed you guys in the introduction. So this is my front panel, right? And this is where the placket is going to be, just exactly on the front panel area, right? So this is the fabric that I will be using for the placket itself. You can see it's an entirely different color to the main fabric itself. The main fabric is a lemon green and the placket fabric is an ox blood. If a novice is doing this design, it's going to look like a color riot. But if you have a good stitch and a good finishing, it's going to look like a piece of art. That is the sweetest part. So in today's video, I will show you guys how to do this step by step as always. So you're going to have a good and a perfect result. So let's get into it. So here, this is what we're going to be using for our plaquette. So the first thing we're going to need, so let me just fold this at the side. Let me put this at the side. So the first thing we're going to need now is our interfacing. So this is a collar stay. This is a collar stay. I've used this in several videos. So this is a collar stay. You can see how it feels. You can see this is a collar stay. So first, I'm just going to simply get my exact wideness. So here I'm going to be using 1/3 of an inch. Sorry, 1/4 of an inch. This is 1/4 here. This 1.5. This 1/4 of an inch. You can see that. So I'm just going to place this right here, exactly where this started. You can see 1/4 of an inch. You can see if you're using an original, this should easily tear up straight down. So once I have this, I'm going to shaping it exactly like our normal placket. I'm going to shape the edge to give me that arrow pointy edge, right? I'm going to shape the edge, give me that arrow pointy. Then I'm going to cut it out into different pieces. So if I measure this, I have a total of 15.5 inches, right? So I'm still going to shorten it a little bit. So this is what I'm going to be having here. You can see I cut out an extra which I have for here, which is the pointy arrow down part. You can see that part just like that, and I have the placket itself. I just split it into two. The upper one is longer than the lower one. You can see that. So after that, we are going to slant it in order to give us the patch design itself. So on this one, I'm going to slant it like this. You can see what I have here. So this is the back, and the front is the gummy part, right? The gummy part is the one that slant like that. So make sure you pay attention. So that's the gummy part. You see that one? So as that one goes like this other one is also going to slant like this. You see that, right? The other one is going to slant like this. So here, once we slide this downside, you can see, make sure this is the gummy part. Let me mark this one. So this is the wrong side. This is the wrong side and this is the right side. So here, we're supposed to slant this one like this. So in order to get that, just place this one like this as well. And make sure the two are of the same shape. So let me just align these two together from behind, just like this. Align it together just like this. And make sure you have exactly the same slanting, right? So I'm going to cut it together here. See that? So if I open it, this is exactly what we're going to be having. You see that? The two has to be in line, exactly in line. So once that is done, the next thing is to simply place the one that's going to be in the middle, and everything in total is going to give us 16 inches in total. 16 inches in total, right? You can see that. So now the middle, what we're going to be needing in the middle, wideness here is going to be 1/4 of an inch by 1/2 of an inch. So here I'm going to mark my 1/2 of an inch just from here like this. Simply cut it straight. So once I cut that straight, the next thing is to get the entirety of the side. So I'm going to be cutting 4 pieces of this. I'm just going to cut it in excess first, then I'm going to shape it. Depending, you can make it more than 4 if that's what you want. You can make it 5, 6, as much as you like. So I have 4 pieces of this, and I'm going to simply align them. So once you have the 4 pieces, I'm going to simply trim this also out. So you can see so far I have 4 pieces of this. So now all we have to do is just to simply align this to each of the sides, right? Each of the sides. So here I want this to be like this. See that? I want this to be like this. This also, I want this to be like this. I want this to be like this. You can see? And I want this side to also be like this. So what I have, okay, those we go up a bit. Make sure all of them are slanty. You see that? You see how we're getting it. So now the next thing is to simply trim these edges out. The way it is slant, I'm just going to hold this one down. And I'm going to simply trim the edge. You can see that. And also, I'm doing this like this, so I want you guys to understand, right? This side, I'm going to trim it like this. So, see what I have here? You see that? We are getting it straight. So here, I'm going to mark this as 1, 1. So this is the number 1. It's going to be like this. So here, which is the second one, is also going to be like this. Also going to be like this. You can see that. So I'm going to also trim this part. Just like that. Here as well. See that? So if I move this closer, you can see that's number 2. This one is going to be a little bit wider. It's going to be a little bit wider. So I'm just going to slant it like this. You can see, I'm going to simply trim it a little bit wider. You can see that. So this is going to be a little bit smaller as well, just like the same size we have in here. Make sure you slant it. Now this side as well, you can see. I believe you can see what I'm doing. This side down part, I'm going to simply slant it also. See that? So this will follow suit. So you can shapen this to however you want it. You can shapen it, you can make it straight instead of being one longer than the other. It's quite long. Let's still shape this. See what I have. So just take your time to make sure it is aligned as you want it to be. So after that is done, let me just move all of this aside. So I'm going to number it. This is the number 2. That's number 2. This is going to be the number 3. This is going to be number 4. See that? It's going to be number 4. Now take your time to align all of it step by step. This is not correct. Got this from the wrong side. Got this from the wrong side. So let me just do this. So this is wrong. This is number 3 and this is number 4. This is what we're going to be having. See that? So after this is done, the next thing now is to go ahead and wrap all of this up. So we're going to go ahead and wrap it all up. So here on the fabric itself, take this to the ironing table. I'm going to simply gum this to the fabric. And I'm going to also gum all of this entire side, then I'm going to fold it. So this is the ironing table. So let me gum it first, then we're going to go to the ironing table together and do all of the folding one after the other, step by step. So after gumming it, this is what I'm going to be having. You can see this is the plackets. This is the number 1 patch, 2, 3, 4, and the end of the placket itself. So once I get that, the next thing now is to simply trim this all out. So the way you're going to trim this out is to make sure you leave an allowance in between for the fold, right? During the fold, there has to be an allowance for each of the fold, right? So here as well, going to leave an allowance, just cut it straight. You can see that, just cut it straight. Here as well, just cut it straight. And also here, just cut it straight. So once that is done, so I'll be taking you guys to the ironing table now, and we're going to fold all of our placket. Then we're going to do the stitch on the fabric itself. So let's go to the ironing table together. So here you can see what I have. This is the placket. I'm going to speed it up so you can just follow along if you're doing this with me. So here I'm going to trim out the edges, all of the edges before we do the folding. All of these are not important, they are not necessary. Just trim it all out. See what I have. So I'm going to place this at the side. So on this one, all you have to do is to put your hemming gum. So I'm going to trim the hemming gum a little bit. It doesn't have to be too wild. Then I'm going to start my folding from here. I'm going to fold that side. You see that? And here I'm going to cut it out a little bit. I'm going to cut my hemming gum into two at this place. I'm going to place the other edge, fold it backward, and simply iron it down. See that? You can see what I'm having. So here at this end part, this is the most important part, so make sure you pay good attention. I'm going to fold it first, press it down. You can see what I'm having, and this edge is the most crucial part that you have to find a way to fold. You can see that. Make sure you take your hand to control that edge to make sure it goes inside very well. You can see, then iron it down. After you hold this down with your iron, I'm going to put a gum underneath it, push it inside, and simply gum it down. This part might take your time. Just take your time to make sure it's aligned very well. You can see that. So here I'll be having an opening of 7.5 inches. And once I get that, I'm going to fold that 7.5 inches inward, just like this. Fold my placket just like this. You see what I'm doing here? So once I have that, I'm going to trim out the excess. And at this place, open it up and simply fold it above the placket. See that? Once you fold it above the placket, push it inside backward again, then iron it very well. So this is what my placket is going to look like. And after that is done, the next thing is to fold each of the patch. You can see I'm going to trim it out a bit, then put your hemming gum at the edge just like this. Make sure the hemming gum is not too wide, I mean, not wild. Just like that. Do the other side, iron it down. Then on both sides, start putting your gum inside just like this. You're looking here. Start ironing at the edges. Same way we did the wider placket, we're going to do the same thing here. So fold it inside. Make sure it goes inside very well. Take your time to iron it. Make sure it's flattened. You see what I have here? We're going to do the same thing here as well. You can see on the edge, fold it, push it inside very well. Simply iron it down. So this is what we're going to be having here. You can see if I place it exactly like this. So we are going to do exactly the same thing on all of the remaining patch. So let me go ahead and do that, and this is what you're going to be having. You can see if I start aligning it, you see what I have. So the thing that will bring the beauty of this design is the stitch. The stitch has to be as clean as possible. You can see that. So this is what you're going to be having so far. If you are enjoying the video so far, smash the like button and make sure you subscribe to the channel. So the next thing now is to basically stitch it to our outfit. So now this is what we are going to be having. You can see what we have here. So now on the borders, all you have to do is to basically stitch it. So let me just align it here. You can see what I have. Let me clear this part. So all you have to do, as you've known, you're going to cut the inner placket for this one. Put this inside. Make sure this part is balanced. You can see. Don't forget this part, you're going to open it down exactly the same length. 7.5 inches. Just going to be here. I'm just going to sleeve that place open. You can see that from there it's going to go inside just like this. You can see that some 0.5 inches. So now the next thing is to basically align this. You can see the center point we are having here. You can see the center point. You just have to be exactly on that straight line for the center point, just like this. You can see that. This one as well. And this one. Depending on how many you want, you see what I have here. Make sure you align it very well. You can see that, and also this one right here. So our placket is ready. You see what we have here? It's as simple as that. You can simply make it 3 depending on how many you want. You can make it 4, you can make it 3, you can make it. See that? That's what you're going to be having. You can put as many as you want in between. So all you have to do is just to simply put your hemming gum to hold it all down, then take it to the sewing machine and simply stitch it all the way down. This is exactly what you're going to be having after the stitching. So in this video, I'm not going to be stitching this, but I believe I've already stitched several plackets. So go ahead and watch that and see how to stitch a placket. It's just stitching it all the way straight down. So that's about it on this tutorial. If you like the video, make sure you smash the like button and make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're yet to subscribe to the channel. So that will be about it on this tutorial. I single-handedly picked these two videos on the screen for you to watch next. The video is going to help you. Watch this one or watch this second one on the screen. See you in the next one. Peace.